damn, your voice sounds sexy. You sexy man, you. You're sexy and you got a nice butt.
Yo. This will never be on the radio.
Cagno Radio. Start now.
Episode 42 of Cagno Radio starts right now. We're going to start with a little viewer email. Okay, now it's not viewers, it would be listener emails.
Okay.
This one comes to us from Kristen, who says, quote, "Hi, listening to your latest episode, and yes, I would love more. You and Joe are freaking hilarious. And of course, I love your wife and dad too, and Sarah and Jillian. This is in parentheses. I've been listening since you guys were on 89X. One way to make money is to set up a Pantheon account.
Yes.
This site lets listeners donate money to you monthly. It lets you choose how much you want to donate per month with a minimum of $1. So that's one of the ways that she had.
Yes, my other podcast, we have a Pantheon account.
Other one.
And we collect roughly 23 cents a month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do they really have one for your other one?
Yeah. I think my girlfriend is the only monthly subscriber.
Do you really make any money?
No.
Because here's the thing. I want to make money off this, but I don't want to make it off the backs of the people that are listening. So just so you know, before anybody's like, oh, crap, here he goes. He's going to start charging money. I'm not going to charge money that way. I think we need to get some sponsors.
Yeah. And sponsors that benefit us, like Noble Fish and Clausen. Like if they could sponsor us by just giving us free sushi, I would enjoy that.
You want Noble Fish to sponsor us?
Yeah, Again, I always look at sponsorship. I don't care about money.
What can I get?
My bills are paid. I'm looking at what I could get. I want to be able to walk into a place and they go, oh, it's Joe. We sponsor him and Cal and the rest of the crew. Here's
what
some
crew?
There, Jillian and Sarah and Wendy and your dad.
Oh, yeah.
Like
okay.
the whole Cal crew. and then we get free sushi out of it. Or I want to walk into some place to get like free snow tires.
Right, where they were like, holy crap, look who showed up.
Right.
It's Joe. Final thing I wanted to put. This comes to us from Kristen. Hope that helps you start to do more episodes, she says. And she says, P.S., don't listen to Joe. The longer the fart noises, the better. They legit make me laugh out loud at work. So for you, Kristen,
still going. It's still going.
almost passed out.
You did?
I almost passed out.
Jeez.
So Joe is here, as you can hear. Thank you for being here today. We appreciate you. We are going to work on some more episodes. Plus, we've got a brand new idea we're not telling you about yet, but we will debut it pretty soon. Joe came up with a great idea for a second version of this podcast. It'll be equally as funny, if not funnier. We'll tell you more about that coming up very soon, but I want to make sure we all are on the same page. We all lived through the meteorite that hit.
We did. We survived.
Livonia.
Right. Ribonia.
Do we know anything about this meteor besides what the internet's telling us?
No, I just know what happened to me. Like, I know what happened to me last night, and then I, of course, ran to Facebook, and I was sitting. I thought something hit my roof. So, like, I got my slippers and my robe on. It's 6 o'clock last night. It's my Friday. I go walking outside, looking to see if I thought a branch fell on my roof, and so I went outside to check. There was nothing. I saw a few of my neighbors outside doing the same thing, looking up at, just kind of looking up and
Santa?
Yeah, what's going on? So then I text my girlfriend. I'm like, did you hear thunder? Is it thundering? And then she didn't get back to me for hours. And then I took to Facebook, did anybody hear thunder or something like that? And then people started texting me, hey, are you working? They wanted to see if, at my work, if stories were coming in or calls were coming in as to what was happening.
At the Daily Planet where you work.
At the Daily Planet, yep. And where I am a journalist, a hardcore.
I take a lot of pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah, and sell them to YouTube. No, so then it just kind of like that. Then I think it started getting out that it was a meteor. And then some guy knocked on my door and was like, do you have any sugar water?
A little Men in Black reference?
Yeah. He was like, sugar water.
What's funny about Vincent Della Rosa or whatever his name is.
Vincent DiFranantonio or something.
He's on Men in Black. He's also on Law & Order SVU and in The Cell. Do you remember that movie starring Jennifer Lopez?
Yes.
She was a crime scene investigator who went into people's heads.
Yes, I do remember that.
I watched that one at the movies, was very scared by it, then bought the DVD. Why, I'm not sure.
I know why.
Bought the DVD and then tried to watch it one day by
We
myself.
all know why we watched that.
Was there nudity?
There wasn't nudity, but there was Jennifer Lopez in a very revealing, like, liquid latex outfit.
I don't remember that. Now, I'm not saying that you're wrong, that that's not why I watched it. I'm sure I watched it because of that. I just remember it being too scary for me. Like, I was by myself. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off now. I did that with American Horror Story, too. Sarah Jean had been telling me all about, how much I would like the show. So I watched the first episode for like 35 seconds. I was like, the devil's in this TV show. I need to be done with this one.
Like movies, the movies that like scared me, like I remember the scariest thing growing up was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when he went through that tunnel.
Yeah, there was some psychedelic things
Like
that they were throwing in there.
That spooked me as a kid. But other than that, like Nightmare on Elm Street, all those like the ones that like when we were growing up, those 80s horror movies, none of them like scared me. And then I watched some made-for-TV movie when I was like in junior high about like Ted Bundy, the serial killer, and he was played by Mark Harmon.
Yes.
And that terrified me. And then later on in life, the movie that to this day, it is my all-time favorite scary movie is The Strangers.
The one with the famous line, "Why are you doing this?"
Yeah.
Because you were home.
Yeah. Like, that is the scariest movie I've ever seen.
We did a bit on 80 on X one time about, like, the scariest movies, and that one usually comes up as the #1 scariest movie.
Yeah.
Most people don't know about it, just because it didn't do that well at the box office, but if you get a chance to watch it, is it called The Strangers or just Strangers?
It's called The Strangers.
Is it called Stranger Things or just...
No, that's called The Stranger Things.
Anyways, the meteor hit us last night. Sorry, we got a bit off track with our movie talk there. Meteor was here. I was downstairs playing Fortnite, so I didn't get a chance to see it. My son's real into this game now on Xbox, so I was playing that, and all of a sudden I hear my wife say, "Did they try to blow up the Silverdome again?" She said, like, the place shook, and there was a lot of light. Now, I also took to Twitter afterwards to see. You took to Facebook. I took to Twitter to see exactly what was going on.
And to see how that girl was building her tiny house.
Still got those stupid over.
She's stupid.
She's
that
so
stupid
dumb.
girl.
She's got glasses. She must be a nerd.
She's so stupid.
She's a nerd now because she's got glasses. So I went to Twitter and realized that people were already speculating that it was a meteor. So I decided I was going to get in on it early and put, "You saw nothing," signed the U.S. government.
That's good.
Which, hey, you know what? I got
That's
a lot of
good.
run on that. That tweet did really well for me last night.
Good
So I just
job.
want to let everybody know if they want to retweet it. It's got about, 75 likes.
It's got some legs to it.
It's got
Yeah.
some legs, way more than just stuff that I put a lot more thought into.
Yeah.
And ran by a comedy writer, and it didn't really fly as much as I wanted to. But yeah, I saw that the meteor had hit last night, or was, somewhere between Brighton and Holly, I guess. But what I don't know is there going to be any fragments that we can see, a la Joe Dirt, a la Men in Black? Like, it seems like this came and went pretty quick.
Yeah, I want to know where that thing lands. I not to get all nerdy, but I think it's a meteorite until it hits the Earth, and then once it hits the Earth, it's a meteor.
Oh, okay.
So if it just stays in the sky, I believe it's a meteorite. I could be wrong. This could be flipped. I need to go to Cranbrook Science Center.
Right. Well, they said that. So I looked up before we came on today. I looked up on Click on Detroit exactly what the deal was. And they're saying that the National Weather Service and NASA are saying that basically, hey, guys, what you saw was a meteorite. I think you're right.
Yeah. That was
Right.
that was 2 meters wide. So what's that, about 6 feet?
Right. It entered the Earth's atmosphere, but didn't hit anywhere near here. Like, it didn't hit the ground here.
It just went through the atmosphere.
And that's what we saw, because people could see it, they said, from New York to Toledo to Michigan. There was people I know that live in, like, Brighton that were like, what was that? And I live in Rochester.
And then
That's a
somebody
long...
in New Hampshire just got drilled in the nuts last night while he was walking his dog by like a golf ball. By then it burned down to a golf ball size, and he just
He's like,
hit right in
was
the
that a
nuts.
kidney stone?
He was like, "What was that?" And it's just like a golf ball size,
Don't you imagine it's just shrinking as it's going to?
and just boom right in his nuts.
I picked the wrong night to walk my dog.
So like right now on his mantle in his New Hampshire villa,
Yeah.
he's got this like little rock. It's like, yeah, that thing, somebody threw that, hit me in the nuts last night.
No way, brother. Had you paid attention to the Twitter sphere in Detroit, Michigan, you would have known that was a meteorite.
Right.
And it just reached the point where it could hit you in the nuts just the right way.
Right, and you survived.
He's telling his wife, do you think I should go to the doctors for this? This hurts way more than it should have.
Yeah, this hurts. Like my one testicle is a bit swollen, and it's green. It's pulsating green.
It's got a light blue hue to it.
Every time the sun comes up, I feel a lot stronger.
I think we should get together with the neighborhood watch program and find out about these hooligans who are throwing things at people's nuts.
Who's chucking rocks at nuts? All I want to do is walk my dog.
Do you think though that we're gonna find out anything more than this, or do you think it's like, hey, these are not the Jedis you're looking for? Like,
no, I just think it's big for us, but in the grand scheme of things, okay, it was a meteorite.
Well,
that went
yeah,
through
but
the
don't
sky.
you think this is a little quick? I mean, are the flat earthers going to jump up and say, wait a minute, why is the government not telling us anything more about this?
Tom DeLonge is taking care of all that.
Can you believe Tom DeLonge?
Yeah. Who would have
Tom
thought
DeLonge, lead singer from Blink-182.
in 1998, seeing him on stage playing guitar for Blink-182, making poop and wiener jokes.
Yep.
Who would have thought that he would have been the champion for UFOs?
Yes. And I'm so sorry. They have a 12-hour loop of him singing that line from I Miss You. 12 hours on YouTube. I watched it for over an hour one day in the background or something, and I don't know why. It was just, and then it goes, where are you? And I'm so sorry. Where are you? And you're like, why? Because you can. It's like Jurassic Park. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right.
So
but in
Tom
the sense of Jurassic Park, you should.
Right. So Tom DeLonge is, for those that don't know, this one of the original singers for Blink-182. He's now on the outs with them. Mostly, I believe, probably because of his belief in the UFOs.
Well, in all honesty, in defending Tom, I'm a huge Blink fan, and I
started
enjoy
drinking coffee as he said this, and I'm worried I'm going to spit it out.
No. I'm a big Blink fan. I enjoy
love Blink,
Tom, and I love Angels and
Airwaves.
Yeah, I was just say Angels verse Airwaves. Obviously, I'm a big fan. I just screwed that all up. You know, Boxcar Racer, all that stuff that he was a part of. I really enjoy it. Following this whole Blink thing, it just kind of came down to he has so much stuff that he's doing. He's doing movies and he's doing all these things with this UFO and the To the Stars Academy, that Blink wanted to like do an album and tour, and he couldn't commit to the time, and they just kind of said, okay, well, do you mind if we take Skiba from Alkaline Trio?
Yeah, Skiba was actually a good replacement. I got a chance to see them. It was kind of cool. One of the last things that I did this summer before we got let go from ADNX was I got a chance to introduce Blink-182 on the stage before their show, and I got to bring my son up there with me, which was cool because, you know what I mean, he's only 12, so he's not like to the age where when I got to do like some really cool stuff, he was way too young. And truthfully, he's not real that impressed with Blink-182.
Right.
Until he's standing on stage and
he likes Logan Paul.
until he sees, Travis Barker just beating that thing and carrying on. Like, it was one of those moments that, like, legitimately I'll always remember. But I'll tell you what, I know I made so many comments about Skiba being like the poor man's Tom DeLonge, and he doesn't deserve a right to be up there, and, he couldn't even carry Tom DeLonge's, cargo shorts. But when I finally saw him, he was really good.
Oh, I love Skiba. I've loved Alkaline Trio for a really long time.
And that's the thing. I mean, I look at it like in the same way, like when I took over for Dave and Chuck the Freak, I always think it's funny that, like, people would always like, you're not as good as them. And you're like, dude, but it's a job that I've always wanted. Like, they left, and it's a promotion for me. Why wouldn't I take it? Same thing with Skiba. Like, he was asked to play guitar for Blink-182, a band that he's probably been friends with for years, has some sort of fandom for, and he could go out and tour the country and get paid lots of money. Like, why would he be like, no, I'll pass that up?
Right. I wish they did that in every job. Like if you went to the grocery store and there was a new cashier and you were like, who are you? Where's Sandy?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Sandy went to Kroger. She's no longer here at Hollywood. Well, you can't do it like her.
I know.
You suck.
Well, that's what I always thought was so funny when I first took over, and even every once in a while now, people will be like, "Oh, I remember when you were on 80 on X. I didn't listen because I listened to Dave and Chuck." And you're like, "Okay."
Oh, I wonder who said that.
Was it you?
No. We both know somebody who gives you the business.
Yeah. There's a guy that I know that every single thing I do career-wise, he's got something to say.
But you only see him but once a year.
I see him once a year.
You see him once a year. He gives you hell over just you being like, you grew up wanting to be on radio. You went to college. You have forged a career in radio that was cut short a few months ago, and this guy just gives you hell every time you see him.
So here's I'll give you an example of the last few times that I've seen him. Now these span a few years because of the fact that I don't see him very much. So I got the job taking over for Dave and Chuck the Freak. It was I only know because I've been working on my resume quite a bit lately. November 22nd of 2012. Now this would have been right before Thanksgiving. The Monday after Thanksgiving is the first day I was on the air. That was the first day I got my first death threat from one of their listeners who said he was going to kill me.
Nice.
Because I took over him. Because you know that usually is the right way to handle things, right?
Right.
When someone takes over a job for someone else, you should try to kill them.
Right.
Because that makes total sense.
Because that's what you did. You booted in the door at the station like a coup, fired your AK in the air, and told Dave and Chuck to get out of there because you were taking over.
Right. They quit. I got a job, and I deserve to die for that.
Right.
So anyway, I see this guy 2 weeks later at a Christmas party, and everyone's a buzz because these are all friends of mine. And there's some people that are just sort of acquaintances. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're finally on the morning show. Congratulations. What happened to Dave and Chuck? Blah, blah, blah." And I was like, you know what? I really don't know, because at that point they still hadn't announced where they were going, so I didn't really know what was going on. I'm like, I don't know. You know what? Wish him the best. I'm just glad this is a great opportunity for me. And he walks up and he goes, "There's no way you'll ever beat those guys in the ratings. I give it 6 months. Your show is terrible. You and Rusty suck together." And I was like,
"You're like,
good to see you too, dude."
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's exactly what he said to me. And then I didn't see him for a couple years or whatever. I mean, there's always weird conversations. Just the other day, this last Christmas, he's like, "Oh," like his wife's really nice and was like, "Oh yeah, congratulations, you're working on WDVD." And I'm like, "Yeah," and she goes, "When are you on?" And I go, 6 to 10 in the mornings on Saturday and Sunday. I'm doing a weekend morning show. He goes, "Yeah, like anybody listens at that time to the radio. Everyone's asleep, dude."
What a little ray of sunshine.
And I was like, "What is your
guy?"
And for the record, tons of people listen. I would bet I hear from more people now that are listening to DVD in the morning on the weekend than I did when I was doing mornings on 80 on X. I'm not just saying that either. Like, I legitimately hear from more people who are like, "Oh, we're going to soccer practice, or we're going to swimming."
Sure.
I think it's because you can have that station on in the car with your kids. I think that helps out a little bit.
Exactly.
So yeah. So long story short, just like Skiba, I took a job that was offered to me, and he can't be blamed for that. He shouldn't be blamed for that.
No, and he does a dang good job.
Dude, he's amazing. And that's the other thing. I saw them live, and I like the next day on the radio, I'm like, I owe him an apology. Now, luckily, he never heard that. Like, it wasn't like he heard it and I had to apologize, because that's the worst. I've said some stuff about bands before and then seen them.
Right.
And then been
or
like,
you take a picture with one of their singers and you grope them.
like the Taylor Swift. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
whole
that's
thing?
always a bad one to come back and have to apologize for.
Right, where you're like, I didn't mean to grope you. I was just kind of.
Yeah. So at least you didn't grope. In fact, you should have your new shirts for your podcast should be Cal Cagno Radio. At least I didn't grope Matt Skiba.
This is a journey into sound.
Wait a minute, you better talk to my mother.
Cal Cagno Radio.
I'll keep you my dirty little secret. Don't tell anyone or you'll be just another regret. It's my dirty little secret. Who has to know?
We have to know. It's time for Dirty Little Secret on Cal Cagno Radio. What you're about to hear comes to us from our website, calcagnoradio.com. Can I just take a quick sidebar? All of the episodes are up there, as well as a link to YouTube if you want to watch these on YouTube. There's not video of us doing this. I just mean to make it easier for some
There
people.
will be soon, though.
Don't tell people what we're up to yet.
Well, I don't know. Are we? I didn't think
That's
that
the
was,
goal. The
Oh,
goal would
is
the goal
it?
would be seriously. The
Oh.
goal would be to mount a camera and then people can watch us physically do this podcast.
The goal is to knock this wall out, put plexiglass, bulletproof plexiglass, and set up chairs, and people can just randomly come and sit and watch.
Watch it happen.
Watch us in the basement.
Yeah. No.
A
To set up-
giant egress.
I
Remember
thought
that
maybe-
word?
I thought maybe we could put something up there and then they could watch on Facebook Live or something.
Oh yeah.
Press a little button.
Yeah.
In between segments, though, we might have to turn
I didn't
it
know
off.
that was like a big secret.
No, I want to do that. But again,
Oh.
I don't know how to do all this crap.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Instead of keeping it secret from everybody, be like, don't give it away. If we don't give it away and you never talk about it, then it never gets done.
That's true.
So
Okay.
if you talk about it, maybe someone will say, oh, hey, I do this for a living. I'll come over and install these things for you.
I want to get a camera, and it doesn't have to be like a high-end camera, but just a camera that would allow us to, while we're recording, for people to watch on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
You could get a little sneak peek of the podcast. It wouldn't be edited, but at least you could watch us do this.
Yeah.
And it's actually, you could get a little sneak peek, and you'll also get to hear the podcast before it goes out every
Watch
week.
me do it with my shirt off.
Yeah, the funniest thing, we keep looking at this fictitious camera.
Yeah,
Both
like
of us
it's
are
there.
looking at it.
I'm looking at your like fire alarm,
Yeah.
pretending it's a camera.
Now I'm a little bit worried. This one comes to us from our website, calcagnoradio.com. My husband and I have been married for 3 years. Prior to getting married, we broke up for 3 months. During that time, he did not date or sleep with anyone else. I slept with 12 guys.
Holy smoke! Dang, this girl, she's a partier.
No, she's just sowing her wild oats. They were
No,
broken
she's-
up.
She's a partier. I bet she does a little bump every now and then.
Just a social skinny, real skinny one. Okay, so you think this is bad, huh? Okay,
What do you mean? I think it's bad.
They
Heck
broke
yeah,
up.
it's
No,
bad.
but they broke up though.
But I still don't like hearing about girls that just give it away. Like, that's my issue. Like, the relationship, are they broke up? Yes, they're broke up. I think it's heartbreaking. I don't think it's hot. I don't think it's cool. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I'm 40 years old. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I don't like girls just giving it away.
Okay, so it's about the number of people that
It's about the number, yeah.
Okay, let's rephrase this for a second and assume that she went on a few dates with a couple of guys and slept with them. Does that change it with 2 guys? Or is it the sheer fact that just doing the basic math, you have 3 months, you have 30 days, in 90 days, 12 different dudes made their way through your boudoir?
Yeah, that's brutal. Like, I mean, I don't like the fact that it's 1 or 2, but hey, I don't write the rules of this world. So
Right.
if it's 1 or 2 and that she's trying to meet guys and things like that, I get it. But 12, like that's a dozen eggs right there. That's
For sure.
That's a lot.
And
I don't go through a dozen eggs in 3 months.
Right. That's
you know?
true.
And so that's heartbreaking to me. I just think it's heartbreaking to me that nowadays women, that it's so casual.
Okay, but that aside.
I'm going to start crying.
No, please don't start crying. But that aside, does it make a difference that they were broken up? Because here's the thing. My wife and I, and I've said this before, my wife and I dated for an entire year during college. I graduated from college. She had another year left of school. We broke up. We didn't speak or talk to each other for a year because we broke up. I dated someone else. She dated somebody else.
I remember this. I remember this.
Yeah. So you were there for this. She dated other people. I dated other people. She moved to Mexico. She was a exchange student. Probably went to discotheques till 3 a.m. and made out with a bunch of Mexican guys. Anytime I use too much tongue in kissing, she's like, "Stop kissing like a Mexican." So I think that.
Oh.
She said that's like a thing.
Really?
They lead with the tongue, like really super aggressive, not just like little, fun play with the tongue. No, just cram it down your damn throat.
I think that's how I am. I think I'm a very bad kisser.
Oh, I think I'm terrible too.
Yeah.
I bet you my mouth smells like salami.
Ooh.
I don't know why. And I also have never, ever, ever been complimented for my kissing. So I don't.
Neither have I.
No one's.
And when I have, I think it's just trying to make me feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
It's just getting through that moment so I don't start crying.
I've mentioned on more than one occasion to my wife that I saw a movie when I was a kid, and it was not inappropriate. And in the movie, after they had like their kiss, the girl was like, "That was nice." And I've just wanted to hear that just one time.
Just one time.
One time.
But
my wife
if Wendy were to say it now, you'd be like, come on.
No, see,
like you're not being honest.
Wendy wouldn't say it now because she knows I want her to say it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if you've ever heard this story. One time I found a card, like a greeting card, that in our laundry room behind like the Tide that was like, "You're my everything. I love you" card. Not written to anybody.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, I found it. I'm like, who's this for? Because it was hidden. She goes, oh. She's like, I bought that like a year ago and was hiding it from you, and I was going to give it to you. And I was like, okay, cool. Go ahead and give it to me. And so a week passes, 2 weeks passes, still haven't got the card. I went on the radio and talked about it. People were emailing her. She came to me and she goes, I'm not doing it because you want it.
Oh.
And I was like, you little vixen.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, what?
You're like, and I love you so much more now.
You told me I had a small wiener and I liked it.
I just want to paw at you.
So, yeah,
Can you just step on my thighs with stilettos?
Wendy's not going to say that
Ever.
was nice.
Yeah,
but
ever.
I'm telling you, I've never once been complimented for kissing. And I feel like because we're from this area, you and I both, that there's probably someone listening to this right now that went to school with us that did get kissed by one of us and was...
Not me.
Well, okay, maybe not you. Yeah. But someone could be listening that has had an escapade with you and thought, yeah, he's right. He's terrible at it. Like, that's the thing, right? Because I'm still from here. I always thought that was really funny where, you have these people who are on the radio who are from out of town, so they show up and they're like, hey, everybody, I'm from Philadelphia or I'm from, New York.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm from Royal Oak Don Darrow High School, so there's a good chance that your student teacher is my first girlfriend.
Right.
And she's not
Right,
only,
exactly.
she knows I suck at kissing and I'm a terrible gift giver.
Right. And I fart in my sleep. And she's walked in a few times on me biting my toenails.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you're from the area that you
And my left nipple got infected one summer.
And I told her that I wanted to be an astronaut. I probably shouldn't have said that. Remember, I wrote her a poem and told her I loved her on the second date. That's the thing that just blows my mind about exes. Is that there is someone out there, at least one person out there, that thinks so little of you that they're like, if I never see this person again, that's okay with me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you've had one boyfriend or girlfriend and you don't speak to them anymore,
they have nothing good to say about you.
Or they have they're fine with never seeing you again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I don't know if that's the reason that the Gautier song, Somebody That I Used to Know, hit me so hard, but it did.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, now you're just somebody that I used to know. You're like no longer, you have no reference point as ex-girlfriend, nothing.
Which goes back to this girl giving it away to 12 guys.
Okay.
Now, mind you, again, we can all do the math. It's not like she's giving it away to 12 guys and she's done it 12 times. Each guy's probably gone back to the honey jar a few times.
We don't know that.
So we're talking in 3 months, 12 guys, but how many times with each guy? So, like, at that point, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we can now look back on ex-girlfriends or ex-wives that want nothing to do with us,
right.
that we were just someone they knew. And that's what breaks my heart about this story. Then she gets married to her husband.
Who they've been together, I forget what it
and they
said,
live
3 years.
happily ever after, and they go to Great Wolf Lodge, and they do all that stuff.
Right.
But these guys that are now just a blip on the radar that are nothing are notches and belt. Like that.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Should she bring this up to him? Because obviously,
heck no.
If she emailed, if she sent this in to us on our website, she obviously is conflicted about it. She didn't ask for advice. She didn't say, hey, Dr. Phil and Joe, do you think I should tell him? But I'm telling you, just like you, the answer is no.
No.
Do not tell him ever that during the break you sowed your wild oats at least 12 times. And here's the thing. I got a feeling he probably did too.
But he says, didn't it say that he didn't? Or
it said that it said that he didn't, but at the same time,
is he not telling the truth?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, though, anytime you take a break, you have the right to do whatever you want.
Correct. You
but
do.
You also have to deal with the repercussions of whatever you've done could come back to haunt you.
Correct. I mean, if you break up with someone, that's just the way it is. Like if you're broke up, you're broke up. End of story. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you guys break up, you break up, and a week later you start going back out. Like a week later you make up. Whatever happens in that week, like too bad, so sad. You guys broke up.
But I think there is that part of me as a man who is super jealous of everything. And I'm a crazy person, just for the record. I'm crazy like that. Not like crazy going to kill somebody. Just crazy like the thought of anybody even kissing my wife, when she was 16 bothers me.
Yeah.
I don't want to know that.
Yeah.
I have no interest. But I think there's no good of knowing that. Like no one wants to know that.
Yeah. No.
But there's that part of me who, if like, let's say my wife and I were separated for a couple of months where we were trying to work things out and then got back together, I don't know that, like, I feel like I'd want to know if she did stuff with other people.
Well, see, that's different. Like if you're married, but then you like separate.
Right.
You're still under the guise of we're still married. Like what you're doing, you're still married.
Right.
So there is
But I know
something
people.
wrong
I know
with
people that are separated that are dating other people.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes I think the difference is sometimes, like I know people too that are separated that are on their way to divorce.
Well, and that's the thing.
And then there's people that are separated but they're trying to make it work. If you're separated and trying to make it work, you ain't trying to make it work if you're hooking up with other people.
You better work it.
Yeah,
Put the thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
That's not making it work.
Right.
That's like you're headed toward, you.
What do you give this one on a scale of 1 to 10?
That's a 10.
Okay.
That's an 11.
Okay, you can't go 11.
Oh.
10's the most we can go.
I think that's a 10.
Okay.
'Cause that's a big number.
I think
for
this is
3 months.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the number as much as I'm worried about the secret. The secret is huge. The fact that he is going around probably telling people at his work and his church, gosh, we took some time off before we got married, but you know what?
I think it did us good.
Yeah, it did us good. I got a chance to clear my head.
Yeah, we
And she's like,
refocused. I went to a Joshua Tree. I did a week at Joshua Tree,
I did ayahuasca.
and
I crapped my pants.
she went
And
to
I saw
Burning
my
Man,
dead. I saw my dead uncle, and she went to Burning Man.
and and everything.
Met a bunch of 12 guys.
She went to Burning Man. Said that she just had a great time. That it was about Reiki healing. And I went to Joshua Tree and found myself.
She found some guys that she called the 7 Dwarfs plus 5.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They seem like really good guys.
When I came back, I started a Bible study on Tuesday nights, and I started doing more stuff in my church. She came back when we got back together after that 3 months. She seemed like she was drained. She seemed like
She
just
seemed tired.
She seemed tired. She seemed like she'd been through a journey. And I can only speak for me and what I saw, but it seems like she found her center.
Yeah, for sure. Someone found her center. If you've got a dirty little secret, tell us about it. Go to CalCagnoRadio.com. That's CalCagno Radio.com.
What we're learning today is how do you say, listen to me in Spanish. Let's get started. Escúchame. Now you know how to ask someone to listen to you. Muy bien.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.